Eric, who else are you thinking of that just blows your mind that West Virginia landed? And any thoughts on players that might be kind of testing the waters? Because they can come back.
So I'm going to come back again, Kevin Brown. It all starts on the offensive line for your offense, and any Rich Rodriguez team offense is the story. If we don't get Kevin Brown, I don't know that he was the foundation. And when you look at his film, oh my goodness, he's very intelligent, gave a great interview, but he's brutal on the field. He just manhandled his opponents and pancaked so many of them. Not only that, but you saw him making 2 or 3 blocks on running plays. Didn't just make one block and call it a play. He's phenomenal. You've mentioned Sig. Sig is a guy that his speed on defense is phenomenal. He's going to arrive to the ball from either the bandit or the safety position, and he's going to get there in a bad mood. He's going to devastate people because he's bringing momentum. Of course, Latimer. Our receiving core is looking tremendous. Running backs, we have multiple. That does bring into question who's coming back. And I don't blame Jaheim White because he said who's going to be testing the waters. I don't blame Jaheim. He's a tremendous back. He is legit power forward, and he's got the potential to make all conference honors. So he may come back. Would he get more carries going somewhere else? That is highly likely. So that's probably why he's testing the waters. Dior Hubbard, I was really looking forward to him coming back. Yeah. He really came on at the end of the season. He's probably doing the same. I could see him coming back as well. I don't know that both would come back, but definitely one or the other. Do you want me to go on about defense, or do you want to move over?
Hit defense up. Go ahead.
Defense, our defensive linemen, I didn't think we needed that much on the defensive line because, quite honestly, I thought our defensive line held its own this year. And at times I thought our linebackers did well, but we didn't have the depth. That's what really killed us this year. We kept losing people. And because of that, we couldn't get pressure. They've added some monsters on defense, guys who are gigantic. You're talking guys who are 6'7", 6'8". They're monstrous.
Big, long guys.
Yeah, and we've added numerous guys like that. The secondary, oh my Lord, we're adding guys who are 6'4", somewhere in that. That is NFL prototype size right there. And you saw them this year. We got hurt by length because the quarterback play in the Big 12 is that good. You've got guys that can just absolutely, hit a fly from, 40 yards to throw. So, range, length on your DBs is much more important now. We've added that. So it's no wonder this class is rated so high. I'm wondering if Ben Cutter's going to stay. I'm hoping he's not going to test the waters because I think he's someone that will definitely, he knows the system. He's been playing since he was a true freshman. He's been doing great. I hope he sticks around. Something I'll just throw out and maybe you can do something with in a little bit here. We're talking about it, like you mentioned, a top 20 ranking in recruiting. That is the best class we've ever had here at WVU. There's no question about it. This is a tremendous class. Here's the crazy thing. We haven't even gotten into the transfer portal. We have 49 players that are phenomenal, and we haven't even gotten to the transfer portal. One thing I was going to ask you, and I mentioned one little thing there you can maybe take and run with. Excuse me, the other was quarterbacks. Do you think I think we've added Scotty Fox is tremendous.
Wyatt Brown, I think, is the guy you're talking about. Wyatt Brown.
That's from California.
Yeah.
And I think he could do, if I was watching some of his film, how is this guy only a 3-star?
Yeah. 6'2", 185. They're going to put some meat on him. Fast enough to kind of get out around the outside. Legitimate, good. Hell, they signed a punter from Australia. I mean, everybody. It's just like everybody needs a punter from Australia, right?
Real quick, that Wyatt Brown, I saw him. They had a called quarterback draw. He drops back, and he's not only fast, he's quick, which means he can get to that top speed in a hurry.
Yeah.
He literally dropped back in a quarterback draw. They ran it to perfection. The middle of the field opened up. Now, the thing about that quarterback draw is usually you have your receivers jetting down the field to try to pull their defenders with them. What that means is by the time your quarterback gets that second level, the defense is already collapsing back on him. He was so fast. He ran up the middle faster than the defense could collapse back in around him. The camera couldn't even keep up with him.
Yeah.
He ran through beyond the camera range. It was already through the end zone. The closest guy to him, and it was probably like a 70-yard run. By the time he was through the end zone, there wasn't anybody within 20 yards of him. He's got to be running 22 miles an hour.
And then that's what they're clocking at McLaughlin at, the kid that's Trey McLaughlin, from Bixby. He's 6'2", 195. And with these heights of guys, they have my kid listed 1 week at 5'9", next week at 5'11". He's probably 5'10". So it changes. Unless they're measuring them at these camps they come into, we really don't know what these heights and weights are. For crying out loud, I'll give you an example. This is NFL though. Number 80, tight end, big guy, Darnell Washington for the Steelers, had a list of 265. Was on a podcast a week ago, said he was 311. So you never know how big or how small these guys are until you see them on the field. Like John Johnson, they have him listed 6 foot 180. That's pretty much like the standard height and weight for an athlete. I don't know if this the kid looks taller than that when I watched him on film. He's from New Orleans, Louisiana. A lot of these guys are longer. Like Bob Huggins, you say, he likes the length. When we had guys coming in to watch, recruits, it was said on another podcast. I think not 3 guys, but can't remember what it was. They were listening to the recruits talk. And they weren't literally saying, our secondary is dog shit. They were saying, he's just a little too step behind. He's not long enough. I could cover that. Oh, they just need bigger backs, defensive backs. That's music to my ears because, legitimately, we talked about last week. You have longer arms, cover more length, it's just your reach. I mean, they talk about it in boxing, they talk about it in basketball a lot. They don't talk about it enough in football. Now, offensive linemen, they like the nice long arms, but son of a gun, I like a D-back or a wide receiver that has arms that can kind of get that push off. And I think not only they have 1, 2, but they've got 3 defensive backs that have that length is just downright amazing. Eric, there's so many commits here. We're going to have to do a show where we just go one by one because we've talked about probably 8. We didn't talk about Darius Wiley or Anton Sharp or Cameron Dwyer or Cade Bush, who's a tight end. I mean, there's lots of guys here that aren't getting our love. So I might ask, see if Mountaineer Paul wants to come on and we'll do do a recruiting wrap up, like a roll up, because guess what happens January 2nd? Yeah, it's the day after freaking New Year's Eve, but that's when the portal opens up again. And here we are all again, think you're going to see some pieces move out of the West Virginia. And that's why today's show is staying or going. We've got a lot of running backs coming in. Got a lot of running backs leaving, but Eric, we used 5 running backs this year. 5. Not 6 or 7, but 5. Can they carry 6 or 7? I don't know. But after last year, I don't know. What do you do? Now, the quarterback situation. There were some rumors that, they're floating around. Certain people are coming in and out. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see on the quarterback situation. We'll have to wait and see. Also, we kind of got tickled and teased on the Chris Henry Jr. We said it's unlikely. It just he's kind of like acknowledging, instead of just being there, we're not, just kind of playing along. But it's nice to have that hope that maybe that might have happened. He's going to be a game changer. He's going to be playing for Ohio State. We'll be able to watch him. Once again, best wishes to him. His dad was a Mountaineer. Now, if it's your kid, I don't give you as much grace as if you're like actually played ball here or went to school here or lived here. But, the situation is his dad died when he was young. Pac-Man kind of stepped in and helped out. But when he went on Pat Mac, I'm like, maybe there's a little chance. But no, Pat Mac is like, oh, you're going to Ohio State. Good for you. Eric, any thoughts before we close out the show?
But I want to say thank you. I know you have not felt well at all. And thanks for being a trooper and coming on and gutting it out. I love the idea that we bring Mountaineer Paul on. His breakdown of talent, he's great at breaking down film. He'll do an amazing job. I cannot wait for what Rich Rod and those who are supporting him are bringing to this program. I think next year could be a huge turnaround, and in 2 years, it could be something special, something uniquely special.
And you know what? We talked a little bit. Once in a while, we talk about basketball, but there hasn't been much to talk about because they've been kind of not looking too good. Hopefully, they turn it around. That was the high point of for a while. Like, hey, basketball's going to be good this year. I'm hoping they go 500 in the Big 12. Girls basketball looking good. Sports in general for the Mountaineers are in good hands. But with that, I'm going to just, before my voice totally just craps out. I mean, I'm feeling better. It's just my voice is shit. And then, it gets tickly and you want to just drink water and everything. But no joke, this flu has lasted like a little over a week. But feel good. Just the voice is a little crackly. I think maybe I should smoke some cigars and drink some whiskey and just have sexy voice all the time, right? Like, hey, what are you doing? But guys, so the show, West Virginia Live, you can, if you can't read, well, I'm going to help you read. Host of West Virginia Live is myself, Shane. Co-host, Eric. And we're live 9 p.m. Mondays, 8 p.m. Thursdays. I'm also on the Steelers Dynasty podcast, 10 p.m. on Mondays, 9 p.m. on Wednesdays. So, Eric, I don't know if you're a Steelers fan. Steelers are like a yo-yo, up and down. Only consistency is people are just hating on Tomlin. But that's all everybody ever talks about is how much they want a new offensive coordinator, this, that, or the other. West Virginia's in a good spot because we got the coach we want, getting the players who want, have the money we need to make the moves, get a couple W's next year, sing country roads, and then we're going to try to get a sponsor, pepperoni roll. So in the chat, if you know of a pepperoni roll, this should be the sponsor of the Voice of College Football West Virginia Live show. Hit us up in the chat and have some fun coupons or something, or do something fun with pepperoni rolls, because we were talking about, let's get a sponsor for the show. We're always end up talking about food, and pepperoni rolls. A warm pepperoni roll is better than a hug. Give me a hug? No, give me a pepperoni roll, a warm pepperoni roll. Are you a hug guy or a pepperoni roll guy?
Yeah, pepperoni rolls. Look, I love my hugs, but you can't beat a warm pepperoni roll.
Diabetes. The hug drinks, they're coming. You put But hey, we had a shoot. We had a shoot load of people in the chat, a ton. Between 6 and 7. But Eric, that's the show I have for tonight. Eric, do you have anything else before we say let's go Mountaineers and play the great state of West Virginia's flag?
I can't wait for Thursday. I know we're going to have to figure out the timing a little bit, but man, this is an exciting time to be a fan. So can't wait, buddy. Looking forward to covering this with you.
Yeah, Thursday we might not be at our 8 o'clock because Eric has something, I have something. We want to kind of work it out. So we might go a little later, maybe just half an hour later, or maybe a little earlier. We'll work it out. But click the notification button, the thumbs up button. We're here for you every week, twice a week, and then in spirit every day, twice on Sundays. But let's go Mountaineers. Recruiting's happening. College football playoffs is happening. And, you know, it's a great time to be a fan.